What kind of a retirement plan allows millions of people to lose 30 to 50% of their life savings just as they near retirement?
It's a society based on freedom and choice and personal responsibility. There are no guarantees.
It's important that people deal with someone to make sure to provide that guaranteed lifetime income.
Guaranteed lifetime income.
And now to our story.
Welcome to Playchecks for Life with Richard Ehrlich. Richard is the president and founder of the Secure Wealth Planning Group. Over the next 30 minutes, Richard will teach you how to turn your paychecks into retirement playchecks. And now, here's Richard Ehrlich.
Good morning, South Florida. This is your host for Playchecks for Life, Richard Ehrlich. Hope you're enjoying your weekend. Looking forward to another exciting show for you today. I'll start out by saying, once again, really want to thank all those folks who have been calling in, coming in, and meeting with us. It's one of the main reasons why we do what we do, to help people get the right information and help them make some smart decisions. You know, this show is focused on one thing, to bring factual information to you, the average investor. It's helping you to make smart decisions with your retirement planning and your investment portfolio so that you can live a sound and secure retirement. And I remind you, as I do every week, the 5 key areas you need to have a solid financial plan. Number 1 would be advanced tax planning. 2 is having a solid income plan. Number 3 is having a solid and consistent investment plan, one that does not lose half of its value every 5 to 7 years. Number 4 is estate planning. And number 5 is legacy planning. Today's show, we're going to talk about what most people fear, both in retirement and in general. And that's, how do people avoid going broke or running out of money in retirement? You know, the other day I was in my car on the way home from work, and I was listening to the radio when I heard something really interesting. Did you know that within 2 years of retirement, 78% of all NFL players are under financial stress or in bankruptcy? I was thinking, how can that be? These guys make millions of dollars a year. So I thought this must be a hoax. So when I got home, I started Googling around. Did you know that Wayne Newton, Mike Tyson, Steve Baldwin, MC Hammer, they're all bankrupt? Even 7-time NFL Pro Bowler Warren Sapp. All of which begs the question, if these millionaires went broke so easily, what chance do we stand? What was it that these guys were missing that were making them go broke? So after hours of researching, Googling, and learning more about athletes and entertainers, more than I really wanted to know, for example, like the fact that Lawrence Taylor is in the process of selling his Super Bowl ring, here's what I discovered: the top 4 reasons why athletes and entertainers go broke. And I want to try to put this in perspective for all those folks who are planning to go into retirement or in retirement. If you have any questions or you'd like to learn more about your own personal situation, please give us a call at 561-362-2293 or visit us at playchecksforlife.com. And as always, you can download our guide, the 10 things you really need to know when planning for your retirement. So today's show, we're going to talk about, if this is happening to athletes and entertainers, what is it that we can do to protect ourselves? And when we come back in the second part of our show, we're going to talk about the top 4 reasons why athletes and entertainers go broke. If they happen to you, either right before you retire or during retirement, what kind of an impact that could have on your plans?
You're listening to Playchecks for Life with Richard Ehrlich. Playchecks for Life. More in a minute.
What does it take to retire? How much money will you really need to retire? Where does Social Security fit in? And what's the best way to take it for maximum results? Discover the answers to these questions and many more. Join Richard Ehrlich on the Florida Atlantic University campus for Financial Planning Today, Redefining Success, an informative and educational course for adults age 50 to 70. Learn low-risk strategies that can help you grow, protect, and enjoy your retirement. Learn how to maximize your IRA or pass it on to your children without giving most of it to the IRS. Financial Planning Today, Redefining Success is a comprehensive adult financial education only class by Secure Wealth Planning Group. Seating is limited and registration is required. Call 561-340-2667. That's 561-340-2667. Practical information that you can apply today. Call 561-340-2667. Register today.
Are you worried about outliving your income or managing your retirement investments? The change from accumulating wealth to spending it is a dramatic change in your life. People who enjoy a successful retirement find it's good to have an independent, trusted advisor at their side. Now, while it may seem overwhelming to address the complex issues involved in your retirement planning, we have a talent and experience to help you live the life you've planned.
Exciting, isn't it? To start turning your paychecks into Playchecks, call 561-340-2667. 561-340-2667. That's 561-340-2667. Or visit playchecksforlife.com. 561-340-2667. That's 561-340-2667.
If there was a significant missing fact that was costing you money, would you have a method to uncover that missing information? You will now. Join Richard Ehrlich on the Florida Atlantic University campus for Financial Planning Today, Redefining Success, an informative and educational course for adults age 50 to 70. Learn how to lower your taxes for 10 years and why it's so important for retirees. Learn how you can legally reduce or eliminate Social Security taxes, IRA taxation, and income taxes. Learn how to pull up to 50% more income from your portfolio without fear of running out of money. Financial Planning Today, Redefining Success is a comprehensive adult financial education only class by Secure Wealth Planning Group. Seating is limited and registration is required. Call 561-340-2667. That's 561-340-2667. Call 561-340-2667. Register today.
You're listening to Playchecks for Life with Richard Ehrlich.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is your host for Playchecks for Life, Richard Ehrlich. And today we're talking about, believe it or not, how is it possible that millionaire entertainers and athletes can go broke, and how we can apply those same lessons to avoid making those mistakes in our own personal retirement, both prior to retirement and going into retirement. See, the key thing is, ladies and gentlemen, these people that had lots of money, and you've worked very, very hard, or you're in the process of working very hard to accumulate the sizable amount of money to do the things you want to do in retirement. All the goals, all the dreams, all the objectives. However, as we focus on in the show, if you have the wrong information, you're going to have results that are less than desired. If you'd like to learn more about any of the things we're talking about in today's show or on previous shows, please give us a call at 561-340-2667 or visit us at playchecksforlife.com. All right, let's just jump right into them. The top 4 reasons why athletes and entertainers go broke and the lessons that we can apply to ourselves. Number 1 is the sudden loss of work. Well, just like us regular folks, celebrities get the boot sometimes, right? NFL players get cut from their teams, actors fall out of favor. Whatever the reason is, a sudden loss of income seems to be one of the number 1 reasons why athletes have gone broke. After all, they weren't planning to retire just yet, but something happened that forced them into retirement. Folks, it's unfortunate, but true, the older we get, the more likely it is that something is going to happen that is going to force us to rely on our retirement savings a bit earlier than we were hoping. Whether it's an injury, an accident, a pipe bursting in our home, or the next hurricane, planning for the unexpected is an important part of life. And unfortunately, most people fail to provide adequately and end up dipping into their retirement savings, which can have catastrophic effects down the line. I can't tell you how many folks that we meet with who had to tap into very nice sized company retirement plans because they did not plan for the unexpected. Number 2, the second leading cause of why these athletes and entertainers go broke and what we can learn from it, sudden market corrections. You see, the stock market is often referred to as cyclical because it goes up and it goes down. No surprise there. When we're young, and we have all of the life ahead of us, we can afford to ride those waves and capture the general upward trends of the market. However, as we get closer to retirement or actually enter retirement, the amount of time we have to recover these losses shrinks, especially when you consider the compounding nature of retirement losses. Folks, we've talked about this many times on the show, the devastating impact of losses can mean to a retirement portfolio, the length of time that it would take to recover, and the ridiculous rates of return you need to get back to even. See, the way I like to explain it to my kids is like this. Imagine it's a hot summer day. You know those days that you just want to sit in the cool shade and eat a nice snow cone. Well, imagine that snow cone as your retirement. At first, you start eating it. You're enjoying the cool, refreshing taste. You're slowly nibbling away when you notice that your hands are sticky and you have a nice puddle in your lap. Your nice snow cone has decided to empty out in your hand. Now your refreshing treat has become a sticky mess. Well, folks, market losses are kind of like that. You started out with this nice amount. As you're enjoying this treat we call retirement, the market suddenly takes away 20, 30, or even 40% of that hard-earned treat. Compounding your losses is the amount that you have to take just to survive. Imagine the ice cream slowly melting in the sun. And before you know it, both your savings and retirement are gone. If you recall on one of our previous shows, I reiterated the fact that the day you hit that retirement button, the average rate of return doesn't mean anything. It's the order or the sequence of those returns. That's why these sudden market corrections can have a devastating impact. If any of this rings true with you, or you know somebody that it rings true with, or you'd like to find out more information, or come in and find out how we can look at your specific situation, please give us a call at 561-340-2667 or visit us at playchecksforlife.com. And when you're there, don't forget to download our free guide, The 10 Things You Need to Know When Planning for Retirement. Well, here's the good news. The good news is that 90% of it is avoidable if you just do a little pre-planning. Make sure that as you enter into retirement and you start switching over from putting money away to withdrawing money, you do it in the most efficient manner. Make sure that you have a plan in place to protect your hard-earned assets from the unexpected and the inevitable. Make sure that you have a plan in place that is designed to protect you today, tomorrow, and long into the future, regardless of what the market does. So often I hear people telling me that they spoke to somebody and they're talking about specific products or investment styles. See, that's not what's important. Those are just the tools to help you get there. You need to have a solid plan. Folks, one of the best planning tools we use was what we like to call our 3-bucket approach. See, in bucket number 1, you put your safe money, the money that you just can't afford to lose. Think of it as like the foundation in your house. This is the money that if you lost it, you wouldn't be able to remain retired. That money needs to be protected against inflation, but it also needs to be protected from market risks. See, in buckets number 2 and 3, we can then put the money into something that you can afford to risk as long as the rewards are worthwhile. In these buckets, we use our low and moderate risk investments that have a proven track record for low volatility and predictable returns. It is only by looking at your finances as a whole that you're able to create a sound financial strategy that protects you and your loved ones. If you have any questions on this, please give us a call at 561-340-2667 or visit us at playchecksforlife.com. The number 3 reason why athletes and entertainers go broke and what we can learn from them: listening to the wrong advice. One thing that both retirees and athletes have in common is that financial planning for this group requires special attention. You only retire once. Make sure you do it right. Seeking out an expert in long-term financial planning, one that not only specializes in the quote-unquote investing of assets, but the lifetime withdrawal of said assets, is vital. Oftentimes, folks mistake the two and take their retirement advice from their stockbroker or accountant. The truth of the matter is that planning for retirement is a specialized field, and whether you're an athlete, entertainer, or soon-to-be retiree, or in retirement, make sure you are speaking to a retirement expert. Make sure the advice you are taking is from someone who helps people retire each and every day, and it isn't a quote-unquote side business for them. Ladies and gentlemen, when we give classes and we educate the public, the number one question people ask is, how do I know what the difference between company A and company B is? Well, if you want to know the difference, you can go on our website, listen to one of our recent shows, but click on the video that says fiduciary versus brokers. And it's kind of a little bit of a fun play on it, but it gives you a description of the type of people that will give advice. The bottom line is if you go to a fiduciary, it's somebody who has to have your best interest in mind. A broker, it's somebody who has their best interest in mind. So take a look at that. I think you'll get a lot out of it. If you have any questions or you'd like to find out more how we can possibly help you with personal goals and financial planning and retirement planning, call us at 561-340-2667 or visit us at playchecksforlife.com. And finally, number 4, failing to understand money. One of the biggest misconceptions, or at least one of the biggest misconceptions that I had until I started doing some research, was that I just assumed that athletes and entertainers to be wasteful with or naive about their money. However, what I found is the truth is that the biggest problem that they face is having no experience with their current financial situation. And many people surrounding them are looking to take advantage of their good fortune. In life, one of the best gifts is the friendship of those who will give you honest, unbiased advice. I tell my clients, money is one big math equation. If you make $20 million a year and you spend $21 million, you are in debt. It's not the money you make, it's the money you keep. Spending rather than saving is a losing proposition regardless of how much money you have. And think about this. An athlete who just comes into a multi-million-dollar contract is not unlike someone who just sells their business and comes into a lot of money, or somebody who retires from a company and now all of a sudden they have a seven-figure retirement account. Folks, if you have any questions, give us a call at 561-340-2667 or visit us at playchecksforlife.com. Be sure to download the 10 things you need to know when planning for your retirement. When we come back, we are going to talk about some of the potential ways that you can offset and avoid these critical mistakes.
To start turning your paychecks into Playchecks, call 561-340-2667. That's 561-340-2667. Or visit playchecksforlife.com. You're listening to Playchecks for Life with Richard Ehrlich. More in a minute.
What does it take to retire? How much money will you really need to retire? Discover the answers to these questions and many more. Join Richard Ehrlich on the Florida Atlantic University campus for Financial Planning Today, Redefining Success, an informative and educational course for adults age 50 to 70. Learn how to dramatically increase your interest earnings while safeguarding your investments from risk. Learn the big secret that mutual funds and stockbrokers refuse to talk about. Financial Planning Today, Redefining Success is a comprehensive adult financial education only class by Secure Wealth Planning Group, specifically designed to help retirees and soon-to-be retirees plan for their financial future. Seating is limited and registration is required. Call 561-340-2667. That's 561-340-2667. Practical information that you can apply today. Call 561-340-2667. Register today.
You're listening to Playchecks for Life with Richard Ehrlich.
All right, welcome back. This is your host for Playchecks for Life, Richard Ehrlich. We've been talking about how is it possible that really wealthy athletes and entertainers can go broke, and applying some of the lessons from the mistakes they make to ensure that we don't make them during our retirement. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there are some basic principles that you might want to consider. All right, there are several basic principles regarding money and planning that most people just continue to ignore. See, our firm is based upon educating people. If you can get factual, non-mythical information, then you can make smart decisions. Number one is you have to ensure that you have enough liquidity and reserves to keep you going in the event you are out of work for at least a year. In addition, it allows you to take advantage of investing opportunities as they arise without disrupting existing long-term investments. Number two, make sure that you have adequate disability, health, and life insurance coverage. I encourage my clients to think about these types of coverages because these types of coverages are often overlooked, but they should be incorporated as part of any overall insurance plan. If you recall in our show that we talked about what would happen in the event of a long-term care, devastating to a retirement portfolio. This is a big one that many people miss because of the, quote, "it can't happen to me" syndrome. Missing this piece of the puzzle will put everything else at risk. Number three is you have to invest to gain maximum tax leverage. People often talk about fees and expenses, and it is true you need to keep an eye on them big time. But the biggest expense in any investment is taxes. Number four, budget. That sounds like a dirty word, especially if you're making $10 million a year. However, as I mentioned earlier, it's a math equation, and if you spend more than you make, you will wind up broke. The problem becomes losing touch with reality. When you have $3 million in a checking account, people lose touch with cost. And quite frankly, that's what happens when people come in with too large amounts of money. I have a gentleman who I met with who retired from the city, and his gentleman was 49 years old and had a retirement portfolio of about $750,000. This person was spending money He was writing checks for $50,000 like somebody would write a check for $100. Big mistake. And this person is in big trouble now because now they've blown through that amazing opportunity of having that money work for them. Number 5 is, what's your number? I always ask how much income you need or want to live the lifestyle you are accustomed to. Then you build a portfolio that will allow for conservative withdrawals without tapping into principal. Number 6 is, never make investment decisions immediately. Work diligently to surround yourself with a group of trusted advisors to review any investment and ensure that it matches up with your goals and objectives. The best investment is the one that lets you sleep at night. See, it's important that you start asking these questions early on. And by working with these basic principles through coordinated advisor planning, an athlete, an entertainer, or soon-to-be retiree should be able to leave their profession or sport on solid footing. Remember, regardless of who you are, planning for retirement or the concepts in retirement planning remain the same. You need a process. And remember, it's not what you make, it's what you keep. If you would like a make sure you don't go broke analysis, give us a call at 561-340-2667. And please visit us at playchecksforlife.com. When we come back, we're going to conclude with our question of the week.
Playchecks for life.
Are you serious? You're joking me. Are you pulling my leg?
What was that name again?
Playchecks for life with Richard Ehrlich. More in a minute.
If there was a significant missing fact that was costing you money, would you have a method to uncover that missing information? You will now. Join Richard Ehrlich on the Florida Atlantic University campus for Financial Planning Today, Redefining Success, an informative and educational course for adults age 50 to 70. Learn how to eliminate capital gains taxes on the sale of highly appreciated assets. Learn the most expensive investment vehicle and why it's chock full of risk. How can you retire early? Learn the best ways to plan for a stock market correction and why it's so important today. Financial Planning Today, Redefining Success is a comprehensive adult financial education only class by Secure Wealth Planning Group. Seating is limited and registration is required. Call 561-340-2667. That's 561-340-2667. Call 561-340-2667. Register today.
Hey folks, I'm Richard Ehrlich. I'm from Secure Wealth Planning Group in Boca Raton. You know, as much as we'd like to think we learn from the mistakes of others, the truth is most of us don't. We learn the hard way through our own personal trials and tribulations. Our experiences, good or bad, make us who we are. Folks, here's what we know. We know that historically, the markets have had significant corrections every 5 to 6 years, and it has been years since the last one in 2008. We also know that 80% of all market corrections occur between June and the end of October. Did your portfolio lose in 2008? Can you afford to make that same mistake twice? At Secure Wealth Planning Group, the investment strategies we use sidestepped market downturns during the last 2 corrections. What's your strategy? Call us at 561-340-2667. That's 561-340-2667. Or visit us at securewpg.com. Folks, we don't need to keep making the same mistakes twice. You don't need to lose in order to gain.
Past performance is no guarantee of future results.
Retirement is a long time to go without a paycheck, maybe 20 or 30 years or longer, especially in the face of uncertain economic conditions. Do you have a sense of unease, a feeling that somehow you are not prepared? Are you afraid you may outlive your money? You're not alone. Many of our clients had that same concern. That's right, had, but not anymore. Now they all have Playchecks for Life. Let us show you how a steady income for your retirement is possible. Live your retirement the way you've always dreamed it should be with Playchecks for Life.
Call 561-340-2667. That's 561-340-2667. Or visit playchecksforlife.com. 561-340-2667. That's 561-340-2667. You're listening to Playchecks for Life with Richard Ehrlich.
Welcome back. It's Richard Ehrlich, your host for Playchecks for Life. Today we've been talking about why athletes and entertainers go broke, and learning from their mistakes and some of the things we can do to avoid those mistakes. All right, as we always do, we're going to end with the question of the week. And it's interesting, we've been getting this question quite a bit, and I believe we touched on this question last year. However, I think it's important enough to reiterate it. So let's get right down to the question of the week. This question comes from Marianne in Jupiter. Marianne writes, my dad passed away at 81 years old. He left a living trust as the primary beneficiary of a traditional IRA. The trust states that all the assets are to be divided amongst their two children. How should the beneficiary IRA be titled? You know, it's funny, folks, we see a lot of these accounts being titled as a trust. So, Marianne, IRAs are a complex issue, and I strongly recommend that you seek out a firm like ours that specializes in IRAs and estate planning before making any decisions. Because making a poor decision can have a devastating impact on your retirement. Having said that, Marianne, the short answer is that the beneficiary IRA will be in the name of the trust as beneficiary of your dad's IRA. It must use the tax identification number of the trust. When the trust terminates, it can then split the inherited IRA and transfer each child's portion to their own inherited IRA. However, each child will have to use the life expectancy of the trust had to use. They will not get to use their own life expectancies. Folks, it is tricky out there. Make sure that you speak to a specialist in retirement and IRAs. All right, this is Richard Ehrlich, your host for Playchecks for Life. We hope, as always, every week that you learn something new. We hope that the information we're sharing with you will get you to start thinking about how you can get to the retirement you always dreamed of. And remember, as I say every week, you didn't work or you're not working all these years just to pay your bills in retirement. We need to make sure we have a plan for you that guarantees you that paycheck for life, all your fixed expenses. But guess what? You want to have fun. You want to enjoy. You want to do the things you want to do. You need to ensure that you have a paycheck for life. If you would like a make sure you don't go broke analysis or just an analysis of your own personal situation, give us a call for a complimentary analysis at 561-340-2667. That's 561-340-2667. Be sure to visit our website at Playchecks for Life, packed with a lot of educational information. Once again, this is Richard Ehrlich, your host of Playchecks for Life. Make it a great week.
Exciting, isn't it? To start turning your paychecks into playchecks, call 561-340-2667. That's 561-340-2667. Or visit playchecksforlife.com. We look forward to hearing from you, and we'll be back again next week. Thanks for listening.